I've helped over 500 pastors to get in shape, and what I've noticed among the most successful ones is the way that they diet. So in this video, I'm going to show you the super easy and sustainable 3-step fit pastor diet. Now in 2020, I had just come home from New York City. I did an internship there, and I was actually in decent shape. My best friend and I, we started a Bible study, which would become our church plant. And in that process, I started to put on more weight. I kind of got back out of shape and reverted to some old ways. The problem was I'd watched a YouTube video and I was trying to figure out how to build the most muscle that I could. Like, how do I get in shape? How do I get big? How do I get jacked? And the guy said, well, if you want to build muscle, then you have to bulk. You have to. And all he meant by that is you just have to eat extra food, because in his idea of how this works, if you eat more food, then you can build more muscle. And the phrase that he used was eat big to get big. And I was like, dude, that sounds awesome. So I started eating one Marie Callender's pot pie, not the little ones, but the big ones, every single night. And over the course of a few months, I'd gained a lot of weight and a lot of fat. But supposedly I gained a ton of muscle. Later came to find out bulking is not the way, but that's for a different video. So I gained 20, 30 pounds. All in the name of bulking, all thinking that I was building muscle the entire time. And so I was like, well, time to cut the fat. So what do I do to cut? How do I get rid of this? And so I watched another video, I read another magazine, and I learned that carbs are the enemy. And if I cut carbs, if I stop eating tortilla chips at Mexican restaurants, if I stop eating Marie Callender pot pies, and if I stop eating extra breads and things like that, then I'm just gonna lose the weight. But in order to still feel full, you have to up your fat intake. That's what they told me, that's what I believed. So I started eating more fat, things like nuts and things, like extra oil in the pan whenever I'd make eggs in the morning, stuff like that. In fact, I even tried the bulletproof coffee, putting butter in there and MTC oil and all that stuff. So I was supposedly feeling full, and I was supposedly losing fat. Nothing changed. In fact, I ended up gaining weight, not losing it. And I was doing all these crazy, I did a Daniel Craig 007 workout or something, and I was just frustrated. And I remember at this point, there was one night that I had some friends over. I still lived with my parents at that point. I wasn't married yet. And I was making pizzas. My granddad grew up in Chicago. He worked in a pizza shop. And so he taught me how to make pizzas, and I was making them for my friends. And afterwards, after everyone had eaten, I was washing some dishes and my friend took a picture of me. And I actually just saw this photo yesterday when I was looking for something in my files. And my man boobs were saggy and poking through my shirt. I remember sucking my gut in when I saw her walk up with the camera, and it was just embarrassing. I put on a shirt that was a little bit tight around the chest and the shoulders, because I thought, man, I've been working out, I've been dieting, I've cut carbs, I've increased fats, I'm doing all the right things, and so I should be looking good. And at first I thought I was, and then boom, I saw that photo of myself, and I was like, are you kidding me? That's what I look like to everybody else, not just in the mirror. And in that moment, I realized, this is not working. It was frustrating. And I felt like I'd wasted a lot of time, honestly. So, about that same time, my church had been growing, our Bible study at that point, and it was time to really turn into a church. It was time to start services. So I was looking around, I was trying to find places that we could do services. There's this gym 3 doors down from the coffee shop where we met for a Bible study, and I thought, well, maybe if we buy the gym, then we can use it, we can own the gym, run the gym. And remember, I thought I knew a lot about fitness at that point. So I was like, maybe I could be the trainer, the coach, and we could get people transformations. It would be awesome. So if we do this, then we could just move the cardio equipment, we could set out chairs, and we would have a location for Sunday services, as well as a cash flowing asset, trying to be a good steward. So all of this, and I was watching these videos from this guy named Alex Hormozi. You can find him on YouTube, because I was trying to learn how to buy a business. And he was jacked. And I was like, well, I wonder if he has any fitness content. This is interesting. So I watched a video that he had, and it was how to eat anything you want, or something like that. And I was like, all right, I gotta watch this. So I did. And that's when I discovered or I first learned about the never skip dessert diet. That's what he called it. And I was like, this can't be real. So basically he gave 3 steps, and he said, number 1, you just have to figure out your calories for the day. Like, how many calories do you need to match your goal? If you're trying to get bigger, multiply by like 15, he said. And if you're trying to get smaller, then multiply by like 8, 9, or 10 or something. And so I took my weight and I multiplied by like 10, because that was how many calories he told me I had to eat. And so I was about 2,000 calories per day. And then he said, all you have to do is eat like a gram of protein per day, and, or not 1 gram per day, 1 gram per pound of your body weight, excuse me. And so I was like, well, maybe if I eat like 200, then that should be good. And I was like, that sounds kind of a little bit hard to do. And then he said, well, it's actually really easy, because 1 pound of like a lean protein, like a chicken or turkey breast or something, is about 100 grams of protein and about 400 or 500 calories. And I was like, so if I eat 2 pounds of a lean meat, then I eat half of my calories for the day. And then he said, step 3 is all you have to do is just fill in the rest with whatever you want. I was like, so I have 1,000 calories that I can eat whatever I want every day of my life. And basically the video is saying, yes, you do. And for the first time, I felt free enough in my diet that I could actually eat stuff that I wanted to eat while losing weight. That was in 2021. It is now almost 2026, and I've been following this now for almost 5 years. Since starting that, I've gotten married, I've had 2 kids, and I have lost the 30 pounds that I put on. I've lost more than that. I've lost like 35, nearing 40, and my goal is about 45. So I've got another 10 pounds that I want to go. But I can see my abs. I set records every time in the gym. And don't just take it from me, I've also helped people like Chris, who said that he's got a lot more energy now after swapping to this instead of the bro science, the YouTube-y kind of stuff. I've helped Anthony. In fact, I'm going to be on a call with him later today. He's lost 46 pounds in the last year by following this same Fit Pastor diet. And all of these things are cool. But what does that mean for every day? Tonight is my daughter's 2nd birthday, and I'm going to make more pizzas. I'm going to eat cake. I'm going to eat ice cream. I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm still going to be on plan with my diet. I'm still going to lose weight this week. And I can say that with certainty because it's worked for 5 years and for over 500 other pastors. So that brings me kind of to your next step, is if you want to be a fit pastor and you want, to have this kind of transformation for yourself, I have a free community that shows you how to do it. It's called the Fit Pastor Blueprint. It's on a community platform called School. It's kind of like Facebook, except better, and way less confusing. And so there's actually a link down there in the description, and if you click that, you can join for free. It takes like 2 seconds and you're in. There's also, maybe if that's not enough, there's also a 5-pound challenge, and the average guy who goes through this loses about 5 pounds in his first week. I want that for you. I want that to be a great kickstart to your journey. There's no better time than today, honestly. So hopefully this was helpful for you. Hopefully the Fit Pastor diet is simple. Just figure out your calories, figure out how much protein, and then fill in the rest with whatever you want. Never skip that dessert, never skip pizza in my case. And hopefully this is helpful. I'll see you hopefully in the school community. Hope you have a great day. Blessings.